Okay, listen up. I mean, I've talked a bit about the German federal election results. Obviously, the AfD has risen. There is some positive news here that I want to focus on because it's important not just to go with like the, you know, oh, the AfD overperformed. The AfD performed about as expected in the polling. We've known this would be happening for a long time. This is just a continuation of the shift that we've seen in basically all of the West, which is a rejection of neoliberalism, a rejection of the status quo, people desperately looking for a narrative to explain why they're so unhappy with the status quo and what can be done to fix it. The AfD thinks that putting all people with more melanin than me in a wood chipper would magically fix their waning economic outlooks, and Die Linke thinks that you could make people's lives better by doing the policies that everyone knows will make people's lives better. I don't know. I don't know which one I've decided on, okay? So the AfD got 20% or thereabouts, which means they're the runner-up in the federal elections. I want to talk a little bit about Die Linke, okay? The left party. And by a little bit, I mean, maybe a little bit, just a little bit, okay? Because I don't know, guys. They did pretty good. If you take a look at the youth voting here, the Die Linke literally performed the best for under 25s based on the exit polling data following the election, and it seems to be bearing out in the total data as well. The exit polling is pretty accurate here. That's huge. Keep in mind, okay, Die Linke, they were like trending at 3% some months ago and have exploded up to a result of 8.5% in this election, based almost entirely off of an aggressive social media campaign. I mean, by speaking to young people, by aggressively engaging with them, Die Linke has shown that the only viable future for not just for Germany, I guess, but for the entire developed West it's socialism or barbarism, folks, okay? It's also a great, I guess, roadmap or contrast to the direction the Democrats have taken, where you do this little fiddly adjustment of the existing numbers in a way that doesn't fix the narrative or address people's needs. Die Linke is a radical party, and they don't shy away from it. Here's some messaging from Die Linke Queer. Ain't that nice? There's a lot of Die Linke messaging that I've seen online over the past few months where I would say that economically, you have a lot of Bernie Sanders notes, but socially, they're pretty aggressive as well. What was it? Someone in chat posted this. It was a quote from somebody from Die Linke, and it was so based. It was like one of their members was asked if they were woke or how they felt about wokeness, and their answer was, I don't know what woke means, but I am. Which is literally the best possible response. Gissy said that? Fantastic. Which is real as hell, because on one hand, it acknowledges the absurdity of the question. What is woke? Nobody knows what fuck woke means anymore, okay? Everything's woke, nothing's woke. Woke is like a broad term for social progressivism, but then you'll have people saying it's like based in anti-woke to, post videos of white people from the hippie movement dancing, because they're still white, so is being a hippie woke? Well, if you ask the hippie back in the 1960s, they would have been pretty damn woke by their standard. It doesn't mean anything. Woke is when black people, okay? Woke is when you see DEI jawlines on 3D models of women in video games. Woke doesn't mean anything, So you acknowledge the absurdity of the question. I don't know. I don't know what woke means, but whatever it is, I'm it. The Democrats lost so much ground over the past few years by running away from every position they could have defended. They ceded the ground to the Republicans, right? So when Kamala Harris is asked what she'll do to defend trans people, she'll leave it to the states. She doesn't bring it up, On every issue, you cede ground. So the only people talking about it are the far right. And with the far right narrativization being the only thing people are hearing, obviously public opinion shifts. The average American today is a lot less pro-trans than they were just 5 years ago. During the first Trump term, Democrats lost us that ground. They lost us that ground in immigration as well. Back when Donald Trump was in his first term in office, Democrats were so pro-immigrant rights. Oh, they were so committed to the welfare of those immigrants. Just ignore how many deportations Obama engaged in. Then, once Biden took over, we'll keep the status quo, actually, We'll get rid of the mandatory family separation policy, but that only affected a few thousand families. We'll keep the, millions of deportations ongoing, rolling over the years, all of the interactions and people getting sent back. And they stopped talking about it because they no longer had the oppositional position. And then, who do you hear talking about immigration? Republicans. Republicans got everyone to believe there was a big migrant crime wave. You take a look at Google Trends for migrant crime, there's a big spike up during Biden's term. Why? You take a look at the data, there was no spike in migrant crime. The crime didn't increase. The talking about crime did. You guys get my point. The point that I'm making here is that Die Linke is the real alternative for Germany. The AfD doesn't represent anything more than continued financial austerity, but with more racism. Nobody's lives are going to be made better. The original Nazi Party got to benefit from the fact that they were rebounding from a depression, the Great Depression. And they got a lot of war funds to fuel their treasury with. It was an unsustainable venture that was going to collapse no matter what, but they benefited from the optics of pulling the German people out of the Great Depression. The AfD today does not have that benefit. Germany is slumping, but it's no Great Depression. There's no big, guaranteed rise up that they're going to get to coast off of. There's no rising tide lifting their boat. The AfD isn't an alternative for Germany. It's just, what if we were more racist in addition to all of the existing social, economic, and foreign policies that worsen people's lives? There is a real alternative for Germany. A real one. Not just if will being more what if rather than being 57% anti-migrant, we turned it up to 74% anti-migrant? Would that somehow fix all the fundamental inequalities of our society? Like, come on, wake up. We know what the answer is here, And they've done really well. Why is the leaflet in English if it's for a German election? There's a lot of English media in Germany. A ton of Germans speak English. Oh, you want to see something else from Die Linke Queer? That's cute, isn't it? Danke. Die Linke doesn't run from their positions. They stand by them. You think it's audacious of them to imply they like Karl Marx? Sure. F yourself then. You Nazi f***s. 20% to the Nazi party. You're going to get mad at somebody for being pro-Marx? Oh, what did the guy do? Support economic equality? Eat shit. Stand by your f***ing positions. Plant your damn feet in the ground. Be loud, be proud. Give people a narrative. Hold strong. You get me, right? What did I miss? What's this poster? Don't worry about it. Mark's looking extra curvy. He's on the dance floor. He's getting his exercise. Libs are afraid of having an ideology because it means actually having to argue for change. Yeah. Liberals used to be more effective, aggressive advocates for a specific position. Why is it so hard to be anti-Israel in Germany? What's wrong with them? Don't worry. An anti-Israel party has done very well in the recent elections, nuts. They're just not anti-Israel for the reasons you and I might appreciate. Anyway, look, Die Linke's recent overperformance is a huge positive marker. I just want to say, they only started bumping up right before the election. I genuinely think that if they had been given another year of this run-up, they might have ended up being the number 3 vote. Maybe even the number 2 vote. I really do think that's possible. I really do think that Germans are looking for, begging for, a way out. We'll see how it goes. Steal the Green vote, more SPD vote, hell, more CDU vote. We'll see. Why did Linke have such a sudden poll boost? Social media engagement. The AfD have been really aggressive on social media, especially on Twitter. Because Twitter is a Hitler website, and they've been getting artificially boosted by Elon Musk. I mean, Elon Musk literally attended one of their rallies virtually, so it shows you where his allegiances are. Also, he Sieg Heiled at the inauguration for Trump, which they couldn't even show on German media. They had to censor it. But over the past 3 months, Die Linke has been gunning really hard on social media, which is fantastic stuff. Of course, the problem being for the moderates, the Green Party, the SPD, and the CDU in Germany can't do anything interesting on social media because they have no plans for the future. They have no plans for the future. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna talk about? It's like watching Hakeem Jeffries try to run a social media ground game. What the f*** are you going to do? This site shows where the voters for Die Linke came from. Yeah, hold on one second. For the left party. Yeah, this is a good graphic. I like this. Voter migration. They lost some members to BSW, which is good. You don't want these people in you don't want them here, okay? But they got a lot of people from SPD and the Greens, and they even picked up some people from CDU and FDP, and a good number of non-voters, which is nice. That's the left party, that's Die Linke, and then of course the AfD, which did very well, got a huge number of non-voters, mostly East Germans, I imagine, and picked up pretty broadly across the FDP, CDU, and SPD, and picked up a tiny amount from the left party. So 2 million. Like I said, people want a narrative. East Germany, why are you like this? Because they were kind of left to rot after reunification. Where did all the SPD voters go? Yoink! Lost to CDU. Where'd the CDU voters go? Yoink! Lost to AfD, but gained by SPD. You get it. The point is that the biggest gain for the AfD was from non-voters. Die Linke won with first-time voters, with the AfD a distant second. Really? Percentage-wise? Because this would claim the AfD got 2 million non-voters, and the left party got only 320,000. But this Bundestagswahl on new voters says Die Linke picked up most. I think this might be by percentage, perhaps. First time is not the same as non-voters. Oh, right. Sorry. First-time voters and non-voters aren't necessarily the same thing. That's right. That would only be the case if people voted consistently in every election. This is kind of an endorsement of the youth vote. And the youth vote went majority to Die Linke. So, there you go. It is worth noting, however, hold on, where's that link? Yeah, that there is a massive gender gap in who voted for what with the youth. From 18 to 24, women, 35% to Die Linke, huge majority. For men of that same age group, 26% to men. There's not much of a gender gap for older people, but in millennials and younger, I mean, this is just Gen Z, huge gap. Presumably all these guys are big like Elon Musk, Andrew Tate fans. Men are so lost. Yeah, I mean, the modern, right now, like modern conservative chauvinism is heavily rooted in like insultdom, basically. You know? Even the CDU difference is huge. Yeah. Well, we'll hope for the future. What if we bully men to the left? Well, you know, we can dream. 1 second. Hello, you beautiful little fried chicken nugget. How you doing? Do you have a poopy butt? Disgusting. I forgive you. Look at him. Mwah. Jiggle. Mwah. All right, freedom you get.